The Republican candidates in this particular race have all visited with us at this point, and they say that you don't necessarily represent the values of the constituents of the district. How do you respond to that?
They're wrong. No, I believe that they're wrong.
And what evidence would you point to?
The conversations we've had across the district with Republicans, Independents, and Democrats alike. They love the job we're doing. They understand that we represent the 10th district in Washington. We don't represent any party back here in Pennsylvania. So, you know, it's the comments, the conversations, the letters we get. You know, and obviously there's detractors. But it's funny, when we read the letters to the editor, the detractors, we seem to have maybe 5 or 6 consistent people who will send letters in, but the names are the same guys. So, but that's interesting.
The registration in the district, though, is
5-4 Republican to Democrat.
So I think that's, I think that's maybe part of what Mark's question is. Does your voting record indicate that?
Yeah.
You know, we'd have to make some assumptions here. Let's assume that Republicans are more conservative than Democrats.
Sure.
Not all one size fits all. I think that's what I would suspect that's what we're hearing from people, that the district, that there is an advantage on registered Republican voters and that you don't represent their values. Well,
if you look at the most recent National Journal that came out, you know, they rank every year. They rank every member of Congress, House and Senate, on that sliding scale of conservative to liberal. This year, 11 clicks to the right of center. I was. You know, they have the center point, which I had been the last 2 years. Now I'm 11 places to the more conservative side based on my voting record. They look at a series of about 90 votes, and of course we have no idea which ones they're looking at, and how we vote on those, and then they put us in they have a formula. I mean, you can read it and weight it. This year we are 11 or 12 clicks to the right of center in terms of where we've been. So I think as a centrist to conservative Democrat, I think I represent the values certainly of the district.
Can you tell us about, is it true that Senator McCain suggested that you'd be a good candidate to switch parties?
He did. He called me with that.
Can you shed some light on that?
I'll tell you the story. It was the 23rd of December. I was up in the Clark Summit office. We were getting ready for our little Christmas luncheon with the staff, and my cell phone rings, and it was Pete Sessions, head of the NRCC. Chris, Pete Sessions, look, love to have you become a Republican. You know, you vote with us a lot. You know, we like you. You're a good guy. You know, our members think you're that sort of thing. And you know, this is after the first health care vote. He's calling. This is after the stimulus vote. He's calling to say this stuff. So this is pretty incredible. You know, I'm frankly pretty flattered, to be honest. While on that call, the call waiting goes, it's John McCain. I take the call. Chris, John McCain, how you doing? Good. Hey, how would you like to become a Republican? I'll take care of you, you know, sailor to sailor kind of thing. You know, he's playing on that. While that call was going on, call waiting comes up, it's Lindsey Graham's office. I didn't get that call, but Lindsey Graham, the message from his person was the same thing. The next call was Josh saying, what the hell's going on? Politico is reporting that you're being approached to become a Republican. So, and I'm sitting at my desk, my head's spinning. I'm not sure what's being reported, but it was pretty remarkable. So,
did you think about it at all?
Well, I understood why they thought that. I mean, you know, given my record and given my relationship with her, I've worked very well across the aisle with a lot of folks. So, no, not really, but it was, you know, it was flattering. It was nice to know that I was considered somebody who was bipartisan enough that they could work with.
Beyond that, if we assume, if you thought about it a little bit longer and you looked at the registration in your district and the fact that you're running for re-election. From a practical or pragmatic standpoint and a political career standpoint, you might have said, you know, I could switch parties and win again, probably not have opposition. Maybe not, who knows?
Yeah.
But there
Well,
must be something
remember, other people had already talked to the NRCC by that time.
So there must be something from an ideological standpoint that makes you say, no, I'm a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. What are those things?
I'm a Harry Truman Democrat. You know, I get this from my father and the stories about when he was a young man and when he was in the Navy, about personal responsibility, about, you know, the government can do some things for individuals, but there's a personal responsibility aspect that people have to have also. And, you know, in combination, those things can be very fruitful and powerful for progress in this country. So, you know, that's sort of those are the things that I cling to.
So when John McCain told you, I will take care of you, what does that mean? Or what happens?
I don't know what that meant.
Or what happens in those
Well, I think he would. I think what it probably means is that he would use his offices and his contacts for the political contacts you would need to start a career on the Republican side. Maybe for fundraising, maybe for committee assignments, maybe, you know, any number of things that are part and parcel to a congressional seat.
My next question goes back to what we were talking about earlier, a little bit about the discontent that we're seeing out there, as well as what some of the Republican contenders in this race are saying, and that's government spending. When people want to know, when does government spending become a priority? Now that healthcare is
The priority.
that reining in government spending becomes priority.
Well, look, for me, it has been one of the primary issues. You know, as a guy who joined the Blue Dogs in his first term, you know, we're very concerned with that. We got PAYGO passed this year. I mean, people aren't talking about the fact that pay as you go is now federal law. You know, that we have to do this. The healthcare issue is one, from the longer term perspective, if you're going to believe the Congressional Budget Office numbers, that we actually reduced the federal deficit by $1.2 trillion over 20 years. So, you know, that's the arbiter. That's who we have to go by in their judgment, and that's what they're saying. So from a fiscal responsibility perspective, that makes some sense to me as well. But it's you know, we're focused on jobs and doing the kind of things that are job creators. So.